Alright, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I was thinking about and I was talking to a friend of actually. And that topic is how to bring up lagging muscle groups, body parts, stuff like that. So for example, my friend was talking to me about how he wants to grow his chest. Um, and we all have those lagging body parts. Some people might be their legs, their calves, their arms, their shoulders, their back. And what I'm going to talk about today is a couple pointers that I gave my friend and some things that I can tell you guys to help you guys bring up. And this goes for all body parts, arms, shoulders, legs, chest, whatever. Um, and keep in mind that these aren't the only things you can do to bring up a lagging body part, but this is a few things you can do. So I'm gonna give about like 3 pointers and then kind of more in detail. I'll give another three like some sort of techniques, and then that's pretty much it, guys. So there isn't much to it. I mean, it's no magic, but there are certain things that you can do to bring up a lagging body part. So I just have a paper right here. So the first thing, and I think it's very important, is compound movements. So this goes for bench, squats, deadlifts, overhead press, etc. And that those are very important because those are your foundation. Those are your big compound movements that will build the most amount of mass. So with those things, I want you guys to master your form and your technique. So keep practicing those forms and achieve progressive overload, which I've discussed about before, which just essentially is over time adding a little bit more and a little bit more weight, progressing. It's essentially what it is. So master your techniques and just keep practicing. Have frequency. Use those two for that. Let's say for your chest, you want to bring it for your chest. Try to bench 2 times a week. And you won't always achieve progressive overload, but strive for that. And it's fine if you have to go down and you're not feeling as strong and you have to readjust and go down. But just be able to master your form, master your technique. Everything from your speed, to controlling your descents, to exploding, and just work on those compound movements and use techniques. Pause reps. Use bands. You can use like those, like for example for bench. You can work on the top half of the movement, which is your lockout. So you can do some floor presses. For squats, if your trouble is out of the hole, you can do pause squats and just work on all of your techniques and then master those techniques, and then from there on you can use those movements to the best of their potential to grow the most amount of muscle possible. And the second point or tip that I have is isolation. So I want you guys to isolate that muscle. For example, let's say your chest. Okay, we'll just use your chest for this video. So you want to isolate that chest. So whenever you're doing a chest movement, try to make that body part and that body part only move the weight. So try to limit the most amount of sway or momentum, or try to use that body part only to kind of get the most out of that movement. And sometimes you won't be as strong because other body parts, they won't play a part into moving the weight. But it's very important to make that muscle work for it, and really focus on moving that weight through that muscle. And with that comes along mind-muscle connection, which is another thing I wanted to talk about. So you want to really feel that muscle. You really want to take your time when you're squeezing a muscle. Really think about that muscle squeezing, and then feel that burn. And then when you come down, feel that stretch. And then that's just what mind-muscle connection is connecting your mind to your muscle, and really feeling that muscle contract. And that's another thing that I want you guys to do. So isolate that body part and use that mind-muscle connection to move that weight and to really feel that weight and really get the eccentric and concentric contraction. So those are very important. Like I said, mind-muscle connection and isolation. Isolate that muscle. For example, like another thing, your bicep. If you want to grow your biceps, isolate that muscle as much as possible. Like for example, concentration girls. When you keep it here, obviously you can sway, pull the weight up, but locking in your elbow here really helps you, isolate that muscle, so you can only use your bicep to, use that weight. And that's just something that really can help you, isolate that muscle and use that muscle only to move the weight. So my third and last pointer, and this might be one of the the biggest ones, is volume/intensity. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, this can also apply for muscle imbalances. So let's say your left lat is bigger than your right lat. So when you're doing, try to use extra sets or extra reps specifically towards this muscle. So let's say you're doing single arm lat pull downs. Add a couple 3 reps, add a couple 4 or 5 reps. To that lagging body part. Same thing with your arms. Let's say your left is bigger than your right. When you're doing single arm curls, add a couple reps and do an extra set to really bring up those muscles. And that goes along with a lagging body part, like I said again with the chest. Let's say let's say to bump it up a little bit, you add an extra set. And you keep, you hit that muscle and surprise it and really shock it to be able to make it grow. The second little pointer tip is using, come along with the volume and intensity, using some special techniques such as drop sets, such as supersets, giant sets, stuff like that, to kind of really break down that muscle and really make it grow. So for example, let's say you want to, like I said, chest. Let's say you're doing cable flies, and then you do a drop set, you lower the weight, and then you do another set of cable flies. So you can do like that. Or, for example, if you want to do a bench press drop set, you can bench, let's say you do 8 reps, then, you have someone take off the weight, make it a little bit lighter, and then do another set of 10 reps. So you really kind of fatigue that muscle and really break it down, and that's what causes it to grow. And hit it hard. That's another thing. Hit that muscle hard. Decrease those rest times. Keep that volume and intensity up. Stay hot, stay sweaty, and stay in that time period. Where you're shortening your rest times. You're really hitting it hard. You're really intense about it, and that's another thing that can help. The third thing is something that I think that really helps, and that's hitting that muscle a few times a week. And I don't mean a full-on, like I said again, chest workout. I don't mean a full-on chest workout. Let's say you want to bring up your arms after every workout, or maybe adding on to those 2 times, because you should hit a muscle 2 times a week. So you should hit your legs, your arms, your back, your chest, everything, your shoulders, twice a week. So apart from those 2 times a week, hit it maybe an extra 2 or 3 times. Like I said, after the end of your workout, if you want to bring up your arms, you can add a few sets of curls. You can add a few sets of like if you want to bring up your chest, you can add a few sets of cable flies, or if you want to do your back, add a couple sets of lat pull downs, and don't obviously kill the muscle, but kind of get that pumping, kind of keep that blood in that muscle, and kind of work on it. And then I think that's very important. So just add a light movement at the end of the workout to kind of keep that muscle full of blood, and that will also make it grow. And also it helps you kind of keep that in your mind that this is the muscle you want to bring up. And you obviously want to let that muscle rest. And if you're too sore to the point that you can't even do a single rep, then obviously don't do it. But if you're feeling fine, add a set of cable flies, bicep curls, if you want to do tricep push down, stuff like that. Usually try to go for smaller, like more accessory type of movements. Don't really, if you want to bring up your chest, don't go on a heavy set of bench press. You could do that, but try to keep it more more isolation, more volume type exercises that won't fatigue your body as much. And then these are 2 things to take into account, and 2 I think very obvious things, but I feel like it's something that need to be said. And it's nutrition. When you want to grow muscle, you need to eat right. You need to get your protein and your carbs and your fats. So keep those macros up to par, and eat. Be in a surplus. Some people argue that you do need to be in a caloric surplus to build muscle. Some people argue that you don't. But my personal opinion, yes, you do need to be in a caloric surplus. And I know I am in a cut. But I just want to see where I'm at, without as much body fat. So like I said, have that nutrition, eat a lot of food, get your macros in, and then really have your diet up to par, not just your training and your diet. And that can go a long way and help you a lot. Because I think, me personally, I say that gains are made in the kitchen. I think it's about 60 to 70%, nutrition, and 30 40% around that range, actual training. But like I said, you do need one. You can't really pick one or the other. You need both. So train efficiently and eat good, and that's something that will also help you bring up that lagging body part. And my last pointer, and this is probably the most important: give it time. Time is the most important thing. Be patient with it. A muscle, it doesn't grow overnight. It takes a while to to make that muscle grow. But just keep use these steps that I gave you, keep implementing them, and over time you will see growth. But I think to see more physical, like you actually notice you see growth, especially if you want to bring up a body part that's really behind, is about 3 months for me. That's when I noticed that I started making gains, when I started training. And obviously, I wasn't bringing up a lagging body part, but I think when you want to see physical effects, that's when around 3 months. So like I said, give it time, keep hitting that muscle hard, keep up with your nutrition, your diet, and then your training, train efficiently, achieve progressive overload, use those techniques that I taught you, drop sets, supersets, all that, and give it time. You will see progression over time, and even if you progress a little slowly, that's fine. Any progression, is good. So, strive for progress, not perfection. So, it is all a journey. We all have lagging body parts. Just because your legs are a little behind or your chest is a little behind, that's fine. A lot of us have lagging body parts that we all want to bring up. So just keep that into account. So that's pretty much all I have to say today. I don't want to make it too long. Today I was supposed to have a video uploaded already, but I had a few issues in the gym, and in my next vlog, you guys will see what I'm talking about. So like I said, this is just how to bring up lagging body parts, what I use and what I have done, and what I've told people that ask me. So use these 3 pointers. I mean, like I said, there are other things you can do, but this is what I personally use and what I do. So like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, don't let dreams be dreams. I'm out.